Hey, so today we're going to look at exponents with bases of 10 and figure out shortcuts and easy ways to assess or look at exponents with a base of 10. We are in part 1, so you're going to take notes in this area right here. First thing, I will start with 10 squared. So there's a shortcut and a quick way to figure out how to write it. Here, I'll write this a little bigger so you can see it. There's a shortcut or a quick way to figure out how to do anything 10 to a certain power. Now, I know that 10 squared is the same thing as 10 times 10. And 10 times 10 equals 100. I'm going to leave this up here. 10 squared equals 100. I'm going to do another one. 10 to the third power, I know an expanded form is 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 times 10 is 1,000. So 10 to the third power is 1,000. Let me do one more. See if you see a pattern. 10 to the fourth power. That's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 times 10 is 1,000. And 1,000 times my last 10 is 10,000. So 10 to the fourth power is 10,000. Take a look at this. 10 squared is 100. 10 cubed is 1,000. 10 to the fourth is 10,000. Here is the shortcut. You might be able to see it. 10 to any power, the power that the 10 is raised to tells us the number of zeros we will have. 10 to the second power has 1, 2 zeros. 10 to the third power has 1, 2, 3 zeros. 10 to the fourth power has 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. You may be able to make a guess. 10 to the eighth power, how many zeros do you think that's going to have? Yeah, 8 zeros. So this only works when your base is 10. And when your base is 10, the exponent tells you how many zeros you will have when you solve. And the first number in front of those zeros is always 1. So I'm going to try one more with you. 10 to the sixth power. Because my base is 10, I know I can look at my exponent 6. That tells me I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And what's going to go in front of all of them is a 1. Cool. You can use this same strategy when dividing by 10. So let's take a look at this. 10 to the negative second power. The negative exponent tells me I'm going to divide, or that my answer is going to be a fraction. I'm going to use the shortcut fraction. The negative exponent tells me I will have a fraction. My numerator will be 1, and it'll be over 10 squared. I can rewrite that. 10 times 10 is 100. So 10 to the negative second power is 1 over 100. 10 to the negative third power. The negative tells me that it's going to be a fraction. My numerator will be 1. And at the bottom, I will have 10 3 times. Well, 10 times 10 times 10 is the expanded form. 10 times 10 is 100.
Nyla Oliver, please report to the front office. Nyla Oliver, please report to the front office.
And 100 times 10 is 1,000. So I know that 10 to the negative third is the same as 1 over 1,000. Similar things are happening here. My exponent is negative, which means I have a fraction. And it's also a 2. Because my base is 10, I can look at my exponent. That tells me I will have 1 2 zeros, and it will also be a fraction. 10 to the negative third, the negative exponent tells me it will be a fraction. My numerator is 1. This tells me how many zeros I will have. 1, 2, 3. We'll try one more together. Give this one a try on your own. 10 to the negative fifth. Write in your notes section, what do you think that this will simplify to, without having to do all of that work by hand? You should have something on your paper to check to see if it matches what I had. The negative exponent tells us we're going to have a fraction. My numerator will be 1, and my base will be 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 1 over 100,000. I want you to pause this video right now. We may have done some of these together. I want you to do the 1, 2, 3, 4 problems independently. And then when you finish that, so right now you're going to pause, you're going to finish this independent practice, and then you're going to come back with me and we're going to do part 2. Good luck. All right. If you just did the independent practice, then you are now with me. If you haven't done the independent practice, press pause, and then we'll watch the rest of this later. Part 2, the second thing I want to make sure that we know how to do today is multiply by decimals. I'm not going to have you practice this at all, but I do want you to take notes on it. So in this bottom section where it says part 2, let's work on multiplying decimals. The first thing I want you to write is 13.4 times 0.6. We're going to solve this problem together. Here's just a review of how we multiply with exponents. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 gives me 20. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Now I could add a 0 and do this whole row, but all of these are going to be multiplied by 0, so that's not going to change my value at all. Now where do we put the decimal point? Well, I have to move this over 1 time, and I have to move this one over 1 time. So I moved the decimal a total of 1, 2 times. When I moved it over one spot, that was the same as multiplying by 10, and I did that twice. So now when I go back, I need to do the opposite to balance it out, or to make it equal or balanced. So now I will move it back 1, 2 spots. This is 8 4/100ths. Our final answer. I want you to try the next one by yourself. 3.7 times 0.24. So you have 3 7/10 times 24 hundredths. See if you can do this one without me. Press pause, see if you can figure it out, and then we'll check it together. All right, so we just start multiplying like normal. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. I have to add a 0 as a placeholder. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Let's add these together. 8, 8, 8. I move the decimal point over 1, 1, 2. So I moved it a total of 1 plus 2. I moved it a total of 3 times. So that means I start here and I need to move it back 1, 2, 3 times. My final answer is 888,000. Cool. The last thing that you have to do is the backside of your worksheet. This is review of exponent skills. Bring it up when you see me up at the front and we will check our answers together. Good luck. Oh, and I have shout outs. Okay, so let me pull it up. You guys are like, Miss Millie shout outs. I have very exciting shout outs. So we do Youth Run NOLA, which is awesome, and you should join us next time. I have a few shout outs to my fastest times. My fastest time for a boy was Darren Mingo, who's in Harvard. Fantastic job. He ran 1 lap around the school in 4 minutes and 19 seconds. And then my fastest time for a girl goes to another person in Harvard, was Ashante with 5 minutes, 28 seconds. Shout outs to people right behind her. Darion, 5 minutes, 34 seconds. And Asia, 5 minutes, 49 seconds. Shout out to Youth Run NOLA.